Yo ho ho. The music started. I think the music is on. What's going on, guys? Yes. So, what is it? 11? I don't even know. Jeez, it's late. 11:30. Well, it's not too late. So, I am live and we're going to show off some more of my collection room stuff. So, we're going to set up. I got my Horus t-shirt rocking, ready to go. So, I'm going to do my Sons of Horus. I'm a little under the weather, so I haven't been doing much. Yeah, what's up, OP? Starting a little bit earlier than I would have, but I've been a little bit sick the past 3 days, so I haven't really been doing. Outside of the show Sunday, I've just been putting together a video. My voice, you're gonna hear it sound really deep, just because it's kind of messed up. I have a sore throat. But tonight, yo, what's up, Kenzo? Bro, yes, we did. Yep. Now, just to see if we're gonna get something really awesome, like a Rodigus or the Plague Tank or something like that. Like, I feel like we got the Death Shroud Terminators today, and those sculpts look absolutely amazing, dude. They look crazy. So I'm hoping we get, because I think the rumor is that there's only going to be a couple more of the Death Guard to go. So I think we're only going to get a total of maybe five more. So with the 3, that's going to be 8. And then if you think about the World Eaters that we got before, you know, right behind me, we got what? I think it was 9 with Lord Ivanicus, right? 10 with Angron. So with Mortarion, if we get a total of 8, so it's going to be 2 figures behind. So I'm going to ask you to make me a great unclean one. Oh, dude, that would be crazy. I don't even know where he would get the buck for that. Oh, actually, no, that's not true. I mean, there's a lot of different figures you can use for a buck like that. I'm sure that he can find one to print up. But this is a Mythic Legions figure, part of their Cosmic Legions line. And I'm sure he would make a good, great unclean one buck to be reused by some amazing customizer. I'm sure they could figure something out. So, but yeah, we're gonna give it a couple minutes and we'll let some people come in. But tonight we're gonna do. This is part. I think it's part 11. So it's part 11. And let me swing the camera around. Actually, where is the camera? Nope. No, I can't find how to switch the camera on. What's up, Windows 7 Lite? Hello, please say hi to my Brazilian grandpa. I'm going to try this name, but I'm probably going to totally ruin it. So, CC Beludo. So, what's going on, Windows 7 Lite? So, yeah, so, I mean, like I said, tonight we're going to do Sons of Horus figures that I have to get into the display. So, we're going to go through those tonight, so that should be pretty fun. Oh, here we go. No. Where is my camera? There it is. Let me swing it around. So yeah, so we're going to go through. I don't have them all. I am missing, I think, 2 Terminators. I think I'm missing 2 Terminators. 3 of the standard version helms, like these guys. I think I only have 1 of them. And then I have 3 of the MK6 helmed ones. So I'm missing 1, 2, 3. That's 4 standard troops. And then I think 2 Terminators is what I'm missing. But I have the most important ones. At least I think I do. I think I have the most important ones to get. Especially that Leviathan. Terminator is one of my favorite in my collection. Definitely top 20 of everything that I own. So, and then we got the Contemptor Dreadnought, who's actually not a bad figure. The only thing that I'll say with these... What's going on, Cyber? The only thing that I'll say with these is... and as I'm going through each figure, you guys will see... These were the first run figures with the the Imperial Fists that they came out for the for the Horus Heresy figures. So there are some problems with these figures. For instance, a couple of these figures, like him right here, I actually had to glue this piece on because it came out of the box popping off. Some of these guys have very loose joints, especially the waist joint. I think it's on this Terminator. And then his waist piece I actually had to glue on. Lex Luthor over there, I had to glue his waist piece on as well. And then he has the absolute worst weapon out of all of Warhammer. Normally you get like insane crazy weapons, but this dude literally has a butter knife with a handle attached on his underarm, right? It's absolutely crazy. And him I'm actually kind of pissed at because you can't put a helmeted head on him. His head is there's not enough clearance here, and this head was made specifically for this buck. So this one, if I had known that, I probably wouldn't have picked him up, and I would have just gotten one of the standard Terminators. So, and then this one used to have a human head. I swapped his head out from Cool Toys Club. Again, we'll go into all the specifics on each of these figures in a little bit, but yeah. So tonight we're going to get through these. Hopefully, we'll get all of, well, what do I have left? I have, let's see, I have that entire wall to do. Oh, actually, I forgot to say, this is coming tomorrow. This is going to be fun tomorrow. So I have the House Raven, Errant Knight, which is coming. So that's the red version of the Imperial Knight, and I should get that sometime in the afternoon tomorrow. And then tomorrow night we'll do a live unboxing on the Raven House Errant Knight, which is going to be huge, and it's going to be cool to be able to compare these two. So yeah, so that should be fun. We'll have that tomorrow night, and then yeah, what do we have in the next 2 weeks? We have actually this weekend, not this weekend, but the following weekend, I'm going to be going to Legions Con, so that should be fun. And then I'll be dressed up in the Grey Knights cosplay again, which I've been dying to get back into. So, oh man, I look so messed up. I have been sick. So, blah. At least I'm getting on tonight to do this. I wanted to get this done because I know tomorrow we have the House Raven, and I'm not going to be able to add to the rest of this room. And I want to get this done. I want to finish this up. So, let's put it on the stand, and let's get going. And then we'll go through each of these individual figures. This way you guys can see kind of what I'm talking about with these first run figures that they had come out with. Again, the Terminators are, the Leviathan Terminator is amazing, and he's one of my favorite. Oh, let me move the camera back. Hold on. Let's move this up. There it is. There we go. Alright. So, the deal with these figures was when Horus Heresy, so JOYTOY was doing the regular 40k figures, I guess for about 2 years. These came out in, what, 2022? I want to say, right? I think the beginning of 2022 is when these came out. And these were awesome. Like, the sculpts on this, everything that we were used to was kind of standard Space Marine fare from 40k figures and stuff like that. This was awesome because we got like a whole bunch of different looks. At that point, I think it was really the Raven Guard were the only ones with the MK6 helms that we had seen. So when the trailer dropped for the Horus Heresy from Warhammer, which had Horus and it had the Imperial Fists and the Sons of Horus in it, they used that as the jumping off point for their Horus Heresy. So the figures were all based on that trailer that had come out. Now, I'm not collecting any of the Imperial Fist figures. They're not one of the chapters that I'm collecting, but I do collect the Black Legion in 40k, and so it just makes sense if I'm going to collect the Black Legion. This is essentially, you know, the Horus Heresy, or this is the 30k version of the Black Legion figures, at least in my mind. So these were awesome. Again, there were some problems with these figures when they came out. Again, if you saw the trailer, or you remember the trailer, you remember this dude very well. Man, he was a huge part of that trailer. This figure's good. The only problem, his sculpt is amazing. The only problem is that buckle in the front that you see there, that is very prone to falling off. And at least on my figure it didn't come attached very well. I guess the glue or something that was attaching it had fallen off. But he's got an MK6 helm. Dude, he looks really awesome. And the size of his axe is great. Again, he's in the trailer for the Horus Heresy for the tabletop game. And he actually has a crazy looking revolver, which is absolutely amazing and awesome looking. That is so cool. And yeah, the only problem is, like I said, with him, I had to glue this on because it kept popping off. So that front buckle kept coming off. His limbs are okay. I don't really have a problem. His hands pop off a little bit easier than I would like. Other than that, like I said, the biggest problem with him was, and then his power pack, he has a banner sticking out the top of it. And this is kind of that problem that I have with these banners when they don't have a thick enough nub holding them on. So it's a little bit loose for me. I wish it was a bit, I wish that peg on there was a bit longer to hold this. So, oh my god, I can feel my voice going into like really low octaves right now. Hopefully you guys can still hear me and you can understand me. So, let me see. I love that figure next to Abaddon. Yeah, he's awesome. Again, like I said, I think that he's not one of the figures that I had problems with when I started buying these. This was actually the first figure in all of the Horus, the Sons of Horus figures that I got. He's probably the best as far as, and there's really no problems with him. There was some pieces of armor that I just snipped off. They're like pieces of chainmail which were hanging down. He does have a little bit of loose legs, I would say. The upper jointed legs are a bit loose. They're not as tight as the more recent releases that they have. The sculpt on these are amazing. The paint is amazing. They got a ton of black wash on all of these figures. Tons of wash in general. But they did an absolutely amazing. This is one of the reasons why I like all of the Horus Heresy figures, is because of these designs and the color palette and everything that they have for the original 18 Legions. These are so cool. Even the Imperial Fist, which I do have. I have 2 figures of the Imperial Fists Horus Heresy figures, and I have Dorn, which goes into what I'm doing, which is if I buy one of the Primarchs, which I'm collecting all the Primarchs, I'm going to buy 2 of their Legions. So I bought 2 of the Imperial Fists to go with Dorn. But like I said, I decided just to go all in on the Horus Heresy, on the Sons of Horus figures, just because I collect the Black Legion figures. And then behind me, you can see the spaces for the Black Legion figures. You can see Horus right here. All this entire side is going to be the Sons of Horus. And then I have some additional figures which are coming. We have Little Horus Aximan, which actually should be here. I thought I would have had him by the time that I did this, but that's okay. And then we also have the Justarian Terminators captain, essentially. And so he'll go in with the Justarian Terminators, which I have here. But yeah, so I actually wonder. So I have a bottom shelf on this right side and a top shelf. I wonder if I can get all of these into just those 2 shelves. Because what I'd like to do is this one open entire area, I want to be able to put, I'm thinking the Alpha Legion, because I have shit, I have all of the Alpha Legion, and I have 2 of the Alfurious figures. So, and I have alternate heads for the Alfurious figures, so I'm thinking of really putting this entire display is all empty. So if I can get, the only thing that's going to be tricky is the Leviathan is going to have to go on the bottom, and then this Contemptor will have to go on the top. So it's going to come down to, do I have enough room to fit the remaining figures in there with those 2 Terminators? I mean 2 Dreadnoughts, rather. I'm calling them Terminators for some reason. I think my brain's not working too great right now. But, so the Leviathan Dreadnought and Contemptor Dreadnought will go bottom, top, and then we'll try to get the rest of them in there and see if I can get them into 2 shelves. So we'll see how it goes. Custom purple onions up into 100% real honey. Leave it in there for 24 hours overnight. I think take a teaspoon. Oh, for my throat. Yeah. I mean, cut the purple onion. I was like, what are you telling me to do? I'm like, is that a recipe to make the figures joints better? Is that what you were telling me? I had no idea. And then from Cyberrat, Adractus Salamander has a similar issue with the flame on the top of his Power Pack 2. The nubs aren't equal, so it leans one way instead of being straight. Yeah, this is an issue with the early figures. Ajax being an early figure for the Salamanders of 40k. They've generally fixed these issues. This was, again, it was very early when, this is essentially the first figures from the Horus Heresy line that came out. So when these came out, there were some issues. They've since fixed those issues. I mean, right now, if you buy a current, you've seen some of the reviews on the live reviews on the Blood Angel figures that I'm doing. And out of the box, those figures are amazing. Like, there's no problems whatsoever with those figures. They have tight joints, great sculpts, great paint. They have a good amount of wash on them. They're across the board, they're great. So they've fixed any issues that they've had with their production. And that's the one thing that I do appreciate with the JOYTOY figures is, if there's an issue, they don't wait for people to complain about it. They're going in and, generally speaking, within the next 1 or 2 figures that they're designing, brand new bucks, they're going to fix that issue. So like I said, they fixed the general issue that I've had with a lot of these loose joints or issues with the banner popping out of the power pack. But yeah, so what I want to do is I want to talk about each one of these figures individually. We'll put them into the display, and then we're going to call it a night. I was thinking to do some Space Marine 2. If we get done by 1 o'clock, I'll probably stream some Space Marine 2, because I want to get the challenges done for the week for that. So I think one of the challenges that they had for the week is I think one person on your team like randomly takes all the damage and everybody else has like crazy damage. So as a bulwark, if that goes to me all the time, then that's an easy win. So, and I think you guys were saying, I think it's the Tyranid board. So, and then we got patch 11, which is coming out, I think, in like another week or 2, or sometime in November. I gotta look it up, or if somebody in the chat knows, let me know. But they have the PTS up, and I'm not gonna jump on there. I'm not gonna mess around with the PTS this time. I got too many other things that are going on. But when the patch hits, I will live stream that day, so that should be fun. And like I said, I want to continue live streaming. I'm trying to get each of the challenges. I forgot what they're called. My brain's not working right now. But if we get done by 1 a.m. with this, which I think we will, it's an hour, then I'm gonna jump on Space Marine 2 and we'll stream for probably about 2 hours or something like that, or maybe an hour if I get lucky and I get those stratagems done. So stream Mythic Pull. Do you want me to pull everything in Space Marine 2 and just pull it to the entrance and kill everything? Is that what you're saying? Undermine 3D? Alright, so we're going to move over to each of these figures. And again, I will start with the Dreadnoughts. Because I got to stick those in the back and bottom of the displays. These are probably... This is probably my favorite out of all of these. This is the only Leviathan Dreadnought that I have. I believe they came out with an Ultramarines version. They came out with a Imperial Fist version. And I think that's it. I think that's the only ones that they came out with. You guys can correct me. OP, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's the only 3 legions that got the Leviathan Dreadnought. And that's kind of one of the reasons also I picked up the Sons of Horus, was because I really liked this Leviathan Dreadnought, or the design of it, and I wanted to have one of these in my collection. But again, I wasn't collecting any of the legions really that had this as part of their figure releases. So again, it kind of just made sense to go with the Sons of Horus, especially because I'm collecting the Black Legion. So, but this is an awesome sculpt. I did a full live review on this figure. You guys can check it out on my catalog. But this is awesome. Again, he's got the 2 double Volkite cannons on the front here, so essentially 2 laser cannons. Then he's got the siege weapons of this amazing articulated claw, and then this drill, which is fully articulated and moves and everything. It looks awesome. One of the things that's so impressive about these Leviathan Dreadnoughts is the wiring on the back that goes from the arms to the back. Now, one of the funny things is in my past career, I was a data center manager, and if anybody knows about crimping cables, the cables look so nice and perfect on this. If you've ever worked in a data center, or if you've ever run cable or ran cable, I'm looking at these cables and I'm like, man, that is some nice, neat work. So this really, that was an unintentional thing that made me appreciate this figure even more. But he's awesome. Like I said, there's not a lot to him. He's got his twin double smokestacks on the back. He's got the double missiles. I forget what these are called, but he's got the double missile rack on the top. So from a weapon standpoint, the main artillery that he's going to have is these 2 double heavy Volkite lasers. There's 2 on each side. They both move up and down. And then the missile racks on the top. Outside of that, he's really going to be a siege weapon. So he's there to knock down walls and deal with massive Xenos enemies. But he's awesome. I really enjoy him. I'm very happy. He's definitely, like I said, he's definitely my favorite of all the Horus Heresy figures that I picked up. So, and one of the main reasons why I picked him up. Funny enough, he if you ever collect Ninja Turtles from back in the day, they had something when the original Turtles came out. They call them soft heads, and he has a soft head. So his head doesn't squish down all the way, but it's definitely softer than a lot of, like, this is a solid plastic one. So this is a fun fact. So that's a rubber head that's on him. So, but from a sculpt standpoint, I mean, how can you not like this? Look at the sculpt on the back of this. Just looks absolutely amazing. So many of the details, from the Eye of Horus. Where is my eye? So he's got the Eye of Horus right on the front there, an insignia. He's got his Legion tag on his arms. So he's got the 16th Legion there. So awesome figure. And he's got on the bottom, and he's got the Eye of Horus on his pelvic area. So, and then from an articulation standpoint, you're going to be able to move him. His waist is going to be able to swivel. I think that's the extent of that. His legs are going to be able to move. Actually, one of the coolest things with this Leviathan Dreadnought, and this goes for all of them, I feel like these are very well weighted. Like, the feet are big enough to hold the weight of this figure. A lot of this is hollowed out, so it's not a super heavy figure overall. It's not like the Nemesis Dreadknights, which this does not have any metal on it whatsoever, or steel. The Nemesis Dreadknight, for the Grey Knights, which I have 2 of, the entire middle portion of the waist is all steel and metal, and the lower portions of the leg the legs. So this doesn't have anything like that, but this is very steady and stable, and it's an awesome, awesome figure. I don't know how much you can get these for. I think I paid, I think I got this from LT Cave. I want to say I paid like 79 bucks for this. So I don't know what the price is right now on the Leviathan Dreadnoughts. So yeah, Cyber, I like I said, this is one of my favorite, if not my favorite figure from all the Horus Heresy line. I really, really enjoyed this. So this one is going to go to the very bottom of my display. And I know you guys can't see it now, but I'll give you a shot afterwards of how everything looks. And then you guys can see the progression of what we're doing with the collection room. So, oh man, he's going to have to fold his arms in for siege weapons to be able to fit in here. Let me see. And then at least I'll have a good idea. Wow, this is pretty tight. At least I'll have a good idea with him in there, and then the Contender Dreadnought, if I'm going to be able to get all of the Sons of Horus figures in these two areas. So, we'll see. Alright, so next one is going to be one that I wasn't too excited about getting. But this was the Contemptor Dreadnought for the Sons of Horus. I've gotten a couple of the other Contemptor Dreadnoughts before. I'll compare him to the one that I picked up at Comic-Con from the JOYTOY area. And this was the Thousand Suns. This one was insane. But this is, you can see like the regality of the Thousand Suns, which is this one right here, compared to the Sons of Horus. And they're both using the Gravis cannons, right? The only difference is their main weaponry. What's weird is this one has extra weaponry on it compared to it. Has that Gravis falchion blade, and it also has the I want to say those are either a flamethrower or a hand bolter, heavy hand bolter that his hand shoots out. But this one doesn't have any extra armaments. It just has the heavy bolter in the middle and has the Gravis cannon. What is really fun with this one though is it has for its Gravis cannon, it has shoot, I forgot what it's called, but it links up through. Oh jeez, man, my brain is not working today. I am a bit wiped out. But it jeez, I can't get it. I have it literally right on the tip of my tongue what it's called and what I'm trying to say. But overall, this is really cool. I was, like I said, I wasn't too excited about getting this one just because it looks so plain. But getting it in hand, I actually like this one. It reminds me of just like the old military greens that we grew up watching, or the army men. Remember we had like the little green army men for plastic? This is very plain, but it works. I mean, you got the ostentatious Thousand Suns, and you got the Sons of Horus. So I like this one. So from an armament standpoint, like I said, I believe these are heavy hand bolter cannon or a flamethrower. I'm not sure. Then he's got the missile rack on the top, and then he's got the heavy Gravis cannon, the double-barreled heavy Gravis cannon on his what is that, right arm? Yeah, it's on his right arm. But again, he's got the same symbols. He's got the sign of Horus on his chest in black. No other signs of Horus. Oh, actually on his shoulders he does. On his shoulder he has another sign of Horus, and then on his other shoulder he has the 16th Legion. So, and then on the back side, you can see the sculpt. Again, great sculpt work across the board. Again, with JOYTOY, you're always going to get great sculpt work. But it's really amazing to see the type of job and work that they did on these, especially considering these are from the minis. So, again, the minis look awesome. These look awesome. And I definitely think that they're doing an amazing job. And then from an articulation standpoint, just like the Leviathan Dreadnought, you're going to be able to have him move on his waist. His arms move up. And then he's got the... I forget what it's called. but it's the joint that locks every time into place. So he's got that on there, and that's pretty much it across the board. But again, he's got the smokestacks on the back as well. So again, this is a cool one. Again, I wasn't super excited to get him when I originally ordered him, and I want to say, I think I ordered this. You know what? I think I ordered this one and the Leviathan one from LT Cave. So he's cool. So he's gonna go in the top, and then we'll be able to really tell if I'm gonna be able to get all the figures in here. I think I might be able to. It's gonna be how I situate the, oh man, the next bunch of figures. So I don't have a ton. I don't have them all. I'm missing, like I said, I'm missing 3 of the standard power armor helm ones. So I only have the one with the power of fist, and then I'm missing the other 3, and then I'm missing one of the MK6 helm power armor variants, and then I'm missing, I think it's, is it just one of these Terminators? I think it's one of the Terminators that I'm missing, or maybe it is 2. Maybe it's 2, 3. I'll have to look it up, but I think I'm missing maybe 6 figures to finish up all the Horus Heresy figures, but I feel like I've gotten the most important ones. The other ones also, some of these ones are pretty expensive right now. They're harder to get, and so I'm gonna wait and see if they do a rerun on these figures, or if somehow I can get them a lot cheaper, because I'm not super, like, these are not the Grey Knights for me, and I need to have them all. So if I can get them another way, then that's what I'll do. So yeah, what's going on, Jay? Lishona said hi. Let's see. Well, so glad. Show off the son of Horus Praetor. Yeah, I'm gonna show him off. You talking about this dude, or this one? You're talking about? I think this is the Praetor you're talking about, right? So this is the next one we're gonna go to, and I'll go to him in just a second. William Blatt, what is going on, dude? Well, so this is your stream, dude, right? I got my Horus t-shirt on, right? We're showing the Sons of Horus. We got this entire display is all Black Legion and Sons of Horus figures, dude. Well, I'm trying to see if I can get in the far left one is going to be my Alpha Legion, and I know Jay is an Alpha Legion fan, and so we'll have, dude, I have like 8 figures to open for the Alpha Legion. So when we get to the Alpha Legion, which is going to be next after the House Raven Imperial Knight, which I'm getting tomorrow, so we'll do another live stream like this. That will be an unboxing for you guys, but this is going to be all Alpha Legion, and then we'll have, again, Black Legion, Sons of Horus in here as well. So very cool. So we'll actually, I want to show, so Will, I actually picked this up at Comic-Con. So I was thinking of you, dude, when I picked this up. I was like, oh man, I bet you if Will was here, he would pick up one of these. So I know you're a huge Horus fan, so this is awesome. So I'm really happy with this. So let's see. I'd love to see a size comparison with the Sons of Horus. Sure, which ones do you want to see a size comparison with? Aura Battle Kido? Yeah, the Beakies of the Horus. Yeah, they are. They're the most. What's up, DG? What's going on? Yeah, the Beaky ones are probably, scarily enough, very expensive to pick up. So, my 7 that I got from GT got lost in the warp. What? Oh, Jay, are you serious? Awesome figures. What's up, Sam Samito? 260 gone. Are you serious, dude? Dude, they've got to be at like that other area where you have stuff shipped to. Dude, that's terrible. They'll probably do another run. I've noticed after a while they go back and reprint the older models. The Tau Leader Shadow Sun was recently. I saw that. Yeah, it was my fault though, dude. Jay, dude, that sucks. I hope that you get your figures back, because those Sons, the Alpha Legion figures, probably some of the best figures that they've released in that line. And then when I do It'll probably be next week when we come back and we do another add to this collection room. We'll do the Alpha Legion. And you guys want to be impressed by some figures. I have alternate heads so I have 2 of Alfiris model, 1 for Omegagon and 1 for Alfiris. And then I've gotten 2 unhelmeted heads. Believe it or not, me, the guy who wants helmets on all of his characters, all his figures, I bought 2 unhelmeted heads for them because they had the really cool Hydra tattoo on the side of the face. So I bought 2 of those, and then I have all of the rest. I think I've only opened up 3 or 4 of the Alpha Legion, so I have a bunch of figures to open up out of the boxes, so that will be really, really fun. That I'm looking forward to. I think that's gonna be a really fun stream. So haven't gotten, oh god, dude, DG, haven't gotten a call number back, dude. I hope you get them, dude. I really hope you get them. Cool. I also have LOTR figure. Cool. I want all those beakies. Yeah, dude. 1 out of my 2 new Blood Angels captains. Oh, cool. Should get the red one tomorrow. Very cool. You're gonna love those, TG. Those are awesome, awesome figures. Beaky is technology-wise. Who's with me? Yeah, he's got in their beak. They've gotten all their. Well, I don't know about this. I guess that in the Sons of Horus figures they've gotten, because it's supposed to be stealth technology, right? But I don't think that the Sons of Horus have that in there. I guess it's extra communications or something. Right, because that's essentially the reason why they have that beak there. They're supposed to have extra components that a normal helmet wouldn't be able to have, and that's why the Raven Guard used them, because they have the stealth capabilities in those beaks. So, but let's go over. So this is going to be the Praetor. I believe this is the Praetor. And again, I was showing a little bit before, but the sculpt on this figure is amazing, dude. And then if you've seen the what was it? I guess 2-3 years ago now at this point, maybe 3 years. When the Horus Heresy trailer came out with Horus, it was him and was it Fenris? I forgot who he was fighting of the Imperial Fists in that trailer. So they did such a crazy, amazing job on this figure from a sculpting standpoint. Here's his power pack. Absolutely awesome. One of the best sculpted figures. Again, my only problem with this figure was that huge belt buckle circular in the middle there. When I got my figure, it wasn't attached. So either the glue came off or wasn't glued that great. His hands kind of come off pretty easily. So I had to glue that. His hands come off. And then again, the top piece here, the banner into his power pack, I feel like this is not, there's not enough of a peg there. I showed you this before, but let me show you again. I feel like that's just a nub. I feel like this needs to be thicker and longer. That sounds terrible to say, but I feel like that needs to have more of a nub on there, because this tends to kind of fall off. It's not as secure. If you were messing around with the figure, this would definitely fall off all the time. But again, he's got the MK6 mask on there. He also comes with an unhelmeted head. We're not putting in a helmeted head on him. So he's got an unbelievably cool looking helm. I think he has, I think WOG Toys sells an extra helm for him. But from a sculpting standpoint, dude, he is the best figure that they've come out with for the Sons of Horus. My favorite is that Leviathan Dreadnought, but from a sculpting standpoint, like, this is absolutely amazing. He's got that huge power axe, right? All his colors match. Everything makes sense, right? He's got that teal aqua bluish green of the Sons of Horus. He's got really nice reds. The golds pop. He's got that maroon cloak. Everything about him is great. Like I said, the only problem is, from a technical standpoint, the things that were put together. The other thing that I had to do with this also, I had to glue his power pack on, because this was also loose and falling off. So that was another thing I forgot. The reason why it's not loose right now is because I glued it on. So this would normally be coming off. I glued this on. I glued that waist piece on. But he is definitely the best sculpted figure maybe out of the very early Horus, I think from the early Horus Heresy line, he's one of the top figures, if not the top figure. I think that maybe some of those early Imperial Fists like Fenris and stuff like that also can compete, but he's absolutely amazing. So he's one of, from a sculpting standpoint, I mean, he hits every single mark that you want to hit for him. So he's definitely my favorite. Let's see what's going on. How are we doing tonight? Yo, what's up, Neo? Neo, you finally changed your name. Now I know. Now I recognize you when I see you in the chat. Would be dope to get Emperor Children Beakies. Emperor's Children. I'm not gonna say anything, but Emperor's Children. DG knows what I'm talking about. Emperor's Children. We'll see what we get before the end of the year. How are we doing tonight? I'm doing good, Neo. So if we get done with this, by the way, Neo, before excuse me, I'm a little sick. Before 1 a.m., I'm going to jump over and I'll live stream Space Marine 2 because I want to try out, at least get the normal stratagems done for the week. So, but we're going to put him in the display case. I think he deserves to go on the top with the Contemptor Dreadnought. So he's definitely going to show out in the top. And then we'll see where... I'll bring the camera over after, just so you guys can see where I put everything and how the collection is looking. Alright. Next. I believe this was the captain with the Power Fist. Somebody tell me really quick what exactly this one was called. I forgot. This was the very first figure in the Horus Heresy line that I picked up. This figure, just from a technical standpoint, everything works with this figure. The only tiny problem I had was he had these little bits on, I think under his armor or some part, where it was like these little pieces of chain mail. And so I took those off because they were getting in the way of any kind of articulation and stuff like that. Plus they would tend to fall off pretty easily. So I removed them. I don't even have them on the figure anymore. But he is unbelievable. He does have a little bit of a loose upper legs, right? So he's even holding them like this. I just have to be careful that he doesn't fall over. Not super floppy, not like G.I. Joe Classified floppy, but he is a little bit tiny floppy if you let him. But he's a good. He's probably Leviathan. I would say he's probably my second or my third favorite figure out of all of the Sons of Horus figures. Definitely from a power armor side, right? Like the medium armor. Definitely the smallest armor essentially for the Space Marines, but definitely from a sculpt standpoint looks awesome. He's one of the few figures that I've ever seen. He has a bracelet on his Power Fist with a Son of Horus little insignia that's hanging there. So that's kind of interesting. I haven't seen that before. He's got all his wires hanging from there. On his Power Fist, he's got like little spiked knuckles that are coming out. So he looks awesome. I think, actually, you know what? I picked him up because I was playing Space Marine 2 and I was using the Power Fist. And I wanted a cool looking figure with the Power Fist. Anybody, OP and you guys remember this in the chat, I was like, man, I need a really cool looking Power Fist guy, and I hadn't started collecting the Sons of Horus at that point. And then I was asking you guys, what is a cool looking one? You guys were like, get this one. And so I blame you guys for me also getting all the Sons of Horus figures. So, but it was a good thing I picked them up. He looks awesome. Again, one of the really things I do appreciate, and I hate when they do this, is when they, and it's not JOYTOY's fault because they're basing this on the miniatures, but I hate when you get a Power Fist figure and the dude has his hand open, right? On one of the Black Legion figures that was recently released, you can kind of get away with it because on the inside of his palm he's got like a mouth, right? So you want to show that sculpting point. But on like a regular power armor variant, like what are they doing? Why does he literally just have his hand open? He looks like the most relaxed man in the world with the Power Fist. Completely useless. Where is he just going to slap somebody? But again, awesome figure. I'm happy with this. Let's see. It is a Praetor. Okay. His servitor made that bracelet for him. I think the new little Horus will be my favorite Sons of... Yeah, I think the Sons of Horus figure is also going to probably be one of my favorite figures, just because it's a newer sculpt. Or the newer buck, not a newer sculpt, but the newer buck, it's going to have much tighter articulation on the figure. And I feel like with that shield, I think that's the first, yeah, that's the first Sons of Horus shield that we've gotten. I'm a huge shield stan, so I love the fact that he has the stand, he has the shield, and it looks amazing. So awesome. So we're gonna put the Praetor in the top shelf. Also, I think we're gonna do some of the Terminators on the bottom. I gotta see how much room I'm gonna get here. So maybe we'll put him in the back. We'll see. We'll see once we start getting to some of the other ones. All right. So, help me remember. I know this is, I think this is the Tartarus Terminator armor. What was this called again? I forgot. What was this armor variant called in the Horus Heresy? This wasn't the this wasn't, oh man. My brain's not working tonight, so I'm a little bit under the weather. But this is probably my favorite Terminator for all of the Sons of Horus. One of the interesting things about with Warhammer is these are electric claws, okay? And you can see this variant of claw looks very much like a Wolverine type of claw. He's got 4 claws, right? And these things are sharp, dude. These are very pointy and sharp on the end. But these are cool, and so these are electric claws, and there's like many different variants of electric claws, even from during the Horus Heresy. Like you'll see, where's one? I don't think I have them out right now. But there's like, I think I counted 4 different variations on the electric claws for between Horus Heresy timeline and 40K. But this is definitely one of my favorite ones. He was also one of the only Terminators that I got out of the 3 that came with a goddamn helm. The other 2 do not come with helms. I purchased one of them from WOG Toys. I actually purchased 2 helms, which we'll get to in a second. But he's the only one that came with a helm. And he's awesome. I really like him. I think he's definitely my favorite of the 3 Terminators that I have currently. So he's awesome. Lightning claws are kick-ass weapons. Yeah, dude, they are awesome. That's Tartarus. So that's right. It's Tartarus Terminator armor, and what was the other one? I was just saying the one you picked up first. Cataphract armor. That's right. So this is Cataphract armor, and this is Tartarus Terminator armor. So again, the only problem with this figure is a little bit of the loose legs on the waist. Right, so his legs are a little bit looser than I would like, which makes standing him sometimes a bit of a problem. Outside of that, his waist is probably a little bit looser also than I'd like. Right, his upper torso waist, torso twist. This is probably a little bit looser than I would like. It's not terrible. Also, nothing is falling off of him, so he's got the front skirt piece does not come off, which is great, and he's got the back butt plate, so neither one of these pieces fall off. So this Tartarus Terminator with electric claws, or lightning claws rather, looks awesome. Again, it's kind of interesting with with all of Warhammer 40K, with the different variants of the lightning claws that they have. I really do like this figure though. I think it's really good. Again, a couple of problems with just a little bit of the loose joints. Outside of that, this is definitely one of the least problematic of the figures of the Horus Heresy Sons of Horus line. So he's awesome. He is going to go, should I put him on the top? Where should I put him? What, I got 3 Terminators? No, yeah, I have 3. So I think I'm going to put Electric Claws in the back. So we'll move him out of the way. And we're going to put him in the back. And we're going to have to fix his feet, actually. Hold on. Dude, the JOYTOY figures is, like... dude, their shit is sharp sometimes. If you're not careful, you're going to hurt yourself. Like I was saying with that Nemesis Dread Knight, you literally can kill somebody with that. If you threw it at somebody, they would not be having a good day. So, alright, that looks good. And then we're going to make room for the rest of the well, we can get at least one more Terminator in there. I don't know. And then we'll probably put the Lex Luthor Terminator on the bottom, which I am not happy with. And we'll get to him in just a second. So the next Tartarus Terminator is, I believe this was the captain. And he came with a unhelmeted head. I don't know why you would walk around in Terminator armor without a helmet on. That makes literally no sense to me whatsoever. He does have a really cool looking power sword. It's like a saber. Very cool. I love the hand guard that he has with this. Looks really cool. He's got a heavy volokite pistol or heavy volokite gun. I don't think that's a pistol. None of the guns that they have outside of, yeah, not even the one over here, the variant. These ones have stocks on them. So normally when you see a gun without a stock, you're like, oh yeah, that's like a pistol grip, right? No, they're so strong, they literally can just hold the gun, and they don't need any kind of a stock to support it back against their chest. So, yeah, so this is just a heavy volokite gun, right? I do appreciate his power saber. I want to call it a saber, but it's very cool. I guess it's not a typical saber because I believe sabers will generally be dull on the backside, but this is double-bladed. At least it looks like it's double-bladed. But the handguard makes it look very swashbuckler-esque. So this is cool. Like I said, he has a helm on, but he originally did not come with the helm. So what I wound up doing was I purchased, this is the helm. I purchased 2 of these from Cool Toys Club. And I think it matches pretty good. It's about 90% of what the actual teal, green, blue is on this figure. The yellows, the golds are perfect. But the fact that he did not come with a helm is absolutely crazy. I don't understand. Like, I understand it's the mini, but, and they're following what the mini has, but from, like, dude, like, look at what he's wearing. Why would you not protect your noggin? It literally makes no sense whatsoever. And don't give me plot armor, okay? But he's okay. He did have a problem with the skirt. We're going to call it a power skirt, okay? So his power skirt in the front there, that flap that looks like leather, was falling off, and I had to glue it on. So that was one of the problems with this figure. He doesn't have as loose leg joints as the Electric Claws variant that we just looked at, and his waist isn't, his upper waist doesn't really doesn't have as loose as the previous figure. So overall cool. Again, he's got the, which I didn't show with the other one, but he's got the, does he have Eye of Horus on his armor? No, he doesn't actually. That's weird. Was the other one have it? Yes, the other one has the Eye of Horus. This one actually does not have the Eye of Horus on him. I mean, he's got the 2. I guess that those are eyes on the top of the shoulders. But he doesn't have the Eye of Horus standard anywhere on his armor, which is a bit weird. He's a captain. I would assume like he would be very ornate. He's got the skull on the front, but that's not really anything other than maybe a signifying that he's a captain. But other than that, he's a cool figure. Any Space Marines with no helmet look stupid in my opinion. Neo, you're my best friend. I 100% agree. Preach Wraith helmet for days. I agree, man. I don't have any heads, just a few helmets, but they have been great and feel look like they came with them. Yeah. That's gonna be like 20K worth of toys, dude. It's not 20K worth of toys. It's not 20K. It's maybe 5K, maybe 5K with the Imperial Knight. And by the way, you haven't seen the rest of it. I have a lot more still to set up. We have a lot more to go. And you guys, you can't even see my Grey Knight display. So, but this is a good figure. Back sword hand protection is straight and flat, duller on backside. Yeah, but it looks double bladed. It does look double bladed, Cyber. Yeah. No helmet and no iron halo. Just asking me doom. Yeah, dude. He has. That's the thing. Like, man, even having an iron halo, unless you're a psyker or something, I still would not trust that, right? I would still not trust that. I played paintball. There's never a time that I was running around without a helmet on, okay? To give you an idea, let me show you guys something. I purchased this about maybe not that long ago. I think in 2020, 2022? No, 2019. Okay, so this is a ballistic helmet. Okay, it comes apart, right? It's also custom fit to my face. The eyes have little tiny fans on them. Right now it has the ballistic pieces off the front, right? But this is an awesome, it fully encompasses your head, right? This comes off in 2 pieces. It has fans on the side, fans on the top, everything. Okay, it's a DevTac, official DevTac helmet. This cost, I think this was $3,000. Okay, so this is an unbelievable, awesome helmet. The eye lenses are rated for, I think it's not rated for 9mm. The rest of the helm, when it has the armor on it, which is the headpiece, you can see this is the military grade armor for 9mm. The eyes are just rated for a shotgun. Shit, I can't even think tonight. But the shotgun, not the normal slug, but the shotgun blast. So the little pellets that come out. That's what this is. That's what the eyes are graded for. The mouth, when it has the armor on it, the black, you can see the black pieces. These are all armor plated pieces. Okay, this weighs, once it's fully intact and I have it on, this probably weighs about 5 pounds. Okay, you can attach additional things. It also has the helmet piece, so you can have NVGs on it. I actually did night training with this. If I was ever in a war scenario, there's never a time, like, I would have this on all the time. I don't care. Like, I would have this on. So I can't imagine running around where you have this amount of armor and then you're leaving it to, he doesn't even have an iron halo on his head. Why would you have a figure not come with the helm? I know I'm getting like super nerdy with this, but like, I don't get it, dude. I do not get why you would not have. And their helms look amazing too. Like, it's not goofy, right? It's not a and I'm gonna probably get some people who are gonna leave my chat, but it's not a Halo helm, right? It looks so cool. So, but he is awesome. I'm gonna throw him in the cabinet also behind. So, holy shit, that ballistic helmet is sick. Yeah, dude, it's an official DevTac helmet. It's awesome. I have to do a review on some of the other stuff that I have for paintball and airsoft, so you guys can see if I don't get demonetized for showing that, because I can't show those pictures on Instagram anymore. They immediately send a message to me on Instagram that I have to take those pictures down. So I have some crazy stuff. So, but we're gonna throw him in the cabinet. He is going to go in the top, and I think that this plan is working out, boys. And if there's any girls in the chat too, girls, because I think I'm going to be able to get all of my Sons of Horus figures, and I'll have a spot for Little Horus Aximon, in the 2 shelves that I have open here. I think I'm going to be able to do that. Oh, we got to get his feet. Hold on one sec. Let's see him, so he's not all weird. And then we'll swing the phone camera over in a little bit so you guys can see how everything played out. So he is fine. He's going to be over there. Praetor will be here. Oh, you know what we'll do? Oh, man, I can't grab it by that. He's going to go here. And then we'll put the Praetor over here. Oh, this looks... well, it looks a little cramped in there. Maybe I'll have to move the Terminator Contemptor around. But yeah, so we got through more or less most of my favorite figures. I do like the power armor variants of the MK6 armor and such, but we're going to talk about my least favorite figure of all of these figures, and there's a couple reasons why I don't like this figure. Okay, so this is in the Cataphract armor. Okay, sculpt looks awesome, right? There's a couple of problems with this, which I have. The first one, I want to see, actually, he does have the Eye of Horus on his upper shoulders. So he does have the insignia of the Eye of Horus as well, just the upper shoulders. So the Cataphract armor looks good, okay? The problem is, and this is just from the mini, he has a cool-looking multi-weapon, right? It looks like it's a bolter, and is that a melta? I think that's a melta. I think that's a melta on his the multi-weapon that he has there. So, well, multi-weapon's okay, that's fine. The problems with this figure start with the left hand, okay? And this is probably the worst weapon that I've ever seen in Warhammer. This is literally a butter knife, okay? Do you see his short weapon, his multi-melta with the bolter attached? It goes out almost as far as that butter knife, or actually this goes out probably farther. And the worst part about the butter knife is it's a chainsaw, a chainsword. I guess it's a chainsword, but it has like a handle on it. Do you see that? He has a handle on the inside of his hand. So the worst part about this figure is you can't take this off because this is sculpted on him, okay? And the reason why you can't take it off is there's a pipe that's going from the goddamn butter knife chainsword to his back on his power pack. So, like, there's all this entire... You might as well just have his left side be completely useless. I mean, outside of him running into, like, a loaf of bread from the Xenos that he really needs to get through, this is probably the worst weapon that I've ever seen. This is terrible, terrible, terrible. Right? I complained a little bit about when the Space Marine 2 figures came out because they were using the older model of those chain swords. Right? I'm going to keep this here just so you guys can see that I'm not crazy. So when they came out with the collector's edition figures of the Space Marine 2, which I'm looking at right now, they made updated versions of the chainsword, right? You also got it with the Relic Secundus armor for Space Marine 2. This is terrible, okay? This is so short. He's wearing Terminator armor. I don't know what to say. This is terrible. Okay, so this entire left side of his body is completely useless, okay? Outside of being so close to somebody, he might as well use his Astartes poison spit or acid spit because it's probably more effective than the butter knife that he has attached to his arm that's sculpted on permanently. Okay? Let's see what you guys think about this. What's the whole point of having a power fist if you're just going to use the chainsword? Yeah, actually, oh my god, that makes it even worse. It is a power fist. Holy shit. I didn't even notice that. My hatred of this weapon totally got away from the fact that he has a power fist, or he has the power fist shell, actually. But dude, the thing is sculpted on. Like, it's so terrible. Like, he's like, I have a unique weapon. I'm the only one in all the legions that has this. There's a reason why you were the only one, dude. So this is terrible. This alone puts him down at the bottom. The next thing is gonna, like, unbelievably terrible. Let me look at the chat really quick. Chainsaw Nightstick. Yes, correct. Non-helmeted heads are for non-combat displays. Correct, Cyber, or Primarchs. That's what I'm looking at. Yeah, dude, it is absolutely terrible. Wraith, I'm with you, and non-helmeted equally pissed me off. Wraith casually prepping for the apocalypse. You have no idea. When the old display for this room, notice that these are all like panels of like camouflage. I used to have my my airsoft and paintball guns up here. So when we were looking at selling the house, the realtor came into here, and so I have this blocked off. And she's like, "Can I see in there?" And I'm like, "Sure." And she walked in, and she's like, because I live in New York, so it's not exactly the easiest place. I don't have any real guns, so everything is paintball and airsoft, but they look real. So she was just like, "Wow, okay, so you're gonna hide all this stuff when we put this up for sale?" I'm like, "Yes, I'll take all this stuff down. I'm just gonna put up Warhammer stuff instead." All right, going back to Cataphract, Mr. Captain here. The other problem, so from an engineering standpoint, he's completely fine. Like, he has no loose joints whatsoever. Everything is nice and tight. Everything works. He can stand completely fine, but he has the butter knife, okay? The other problem is, and this is a big one, is his head. His head, he has such, it's so weird that how they sculpted this. I don't even want to take his head off because it's a pain in the ass to get back in there, but he doesn't have enough clearance for the extra helm that I purchased, because this neck, if you see the neck that's here, you need a helm that literally does not have any kind of a neck. He literally does not have a neck on the figure. There's no neck peg to speak of. It just fits on the inside of his head. So to fit a helm, I'd have to cut this neck off. Maybe I can talk to Book about this. I need a helm that doesn't have a neck portion on the helm, because Lex Luthor is literally it literally looks like Lex Luthor, right? You've seen him, Lex Luthor, in his armor, right? I was actually at Comic-Con, and I took a picture with somebody who's in some awesome looking Lex Luthor armor. But this head you cannot swap with a helmeted head. So that's my worst nightmare, right? I'm forced to have a really cool looking Cataphract Terminator with a butter knife, goddammit, and an unhelmeted head. I'm almost ready to see if somebody wants to trade me this one for one of the Terminators that I'm missing. Because I think at this point, I just don't like this figure. I really don't like it. Like I said, that the head kills it for me, and the butter knife absolutely kills it for me. I wish that there was a way that I could just, I'd rather have a regular standard power fist in this figure's hand. So other than that, the sculpt is good, right? It's just like the other Cataphract armors. This is one of the first ones I think that came out. But he's got this huge dark maroon cloak on it. He's got the 2 Eye of Horus symbols on his shoulders. Everything works fine. The gold pops. He's got that aqua bluish green of the Sons of Horus. So everything works good. It's just even his multi-weapon, his multi-melta with the bolts are attached, and I even like the fact that it has a drum mag. I'm a huge sucker for drum mags. So he's got a drum mag on the bottom of that for his bolter. But yeah, this is definitely one of my least liked figures in my entire collection. I probably would not have bought him if I knew that I wasn't going to be able to swap his helm. The butter knife is another story. I can just kind of ignore that if I could take off his goddamn head and I could swap a helm onto it. So you're officially my best friend. I too am a fan of drum mags. Dude, when I played paintball, Neo, you guys see some of my paintball pics. I would have 4 drum mags. First of all, I'd use 2 SMGs, both with drums, and then I'd have 2 drums on the front and then 2 drums on the back. And when I played paintball, those drums held around 32 rounds. So I have I'd have magnets and everything hooked to me so I could drop the, and also they were attached via slings. So I had slings on the SMGs, the 2 SMGs, and then I had magnets attached on the upper portion. So I could let go of one of the SMGs, drop it, and then swap out the drum mag and swap in a new one. It was, dude, it was so much fun playing. It was mag-fed paintball I was playing when I did that setup. So, but going back to the figure, yeah, like I said, if anybody wants to trade me for the regular version, one of the ones that I'm missing, I'll definitely trade you, and I'll throw in a Wraith patch as well. If you guys want to, if somebody wants to take this one off of my hands. Hey, that butter knife is Archotech from the Dark. What's up, Jacko Beans? I do not envy you guys in living one of those states. Would you get any articulation with a custom head? I would. Again, it would just have to... You can get articulation with the Lex Luthor head, right? He can move around. It's just the way they sculpted this, just because of the mini. Literally, like, look at his head. Look at that. He barely can, like, clear it. So with a helmeted head, you know, he just can't clear it. You can't get this head in there. I've tried. It's a pain in the ass. I used to lend a friend of mine's my M249 Saw look-alike. I'll need to reload it in between. Oh, that's cool. I'm guessing for airsoft, right? That's crazy. Make sure the orange tips on those damn... Yeah, the saying. Yep. Alright, so we're going to put him away so I don't see him that much. And he's going to go on the very bottom with the Leviathan Dreadnought, which I love, by the way. So I have my least favorite portion of the Sons of Horus with my favorite portion of the Sons of Horus. So I believe this will work. Do I have to get him back farther? No. Alright, that is about as far back as that is going to go. And we're looking pretty good. I just have to, in the top there, you'll see in a second, I feel like it looks too cramped. Alright, now the power armor variant figures. I only got one of these, because these ones sold out pretty quick, actually. This figure is also one of the first ones that I've ever seen that came with the bomb that we used in Space Marine 2. I've never seen that on any of our figures before. So he comes with, excuse me, he comes with a bolter pistol, right? I believe this is the captain too, right? That Roman top of the helm, I think, signifies that. So he comes with a power fist, right? And thank God he has a power fist that's closed. He's not looking to high-five any guys with his power fist, so his power fist is closed. He's also almost, it looks like bullet belts almost over the front of his chest plate. That's cool. The only thing with this figure that I don't like, and I know that you guys, if you know me, can probably see it already, it's that it's that brick of a holster, right? Literally all they had to do was hollow this out, and I would be completely happy. Even if his bolter pistol can't fit in there, at least it's not a brick. Literally, like, it literally is just reminds me of a brick that's on here. At this point, my argument here is we pay enough for these figures that we shouldn't get stuff like this, right? We shouldn't get... Let me just peel it off really quick. I think this comes off. No, it doesn't come off. God damn, I almost ripped it off. It's part of the goddamn belt. It's not even a part that goes on like the bomb, right? This bomb comes off. This is actually funny. Is there any other figures that come with this? The Melta bomb? I don't think so. I think this is one of the only figures that comes with a Melta that I remember, or is part of my collection. I think it's the only Melta bomb that comes with this. So, but overall, he's cool. His power pack looks cool. Sculpt wise, no problems whatsoever. No loose joints. So all across the board, a home run on this figure. Again, it's one of the... What version of the helm is this? Is this MK9? I don't remember. Agreed with Wraith on holders, sheaths, and scabbards. Yeah, I like to set the Melta bombs for breakfast. High five. Yes, I agree, Neo. Used to not like the color scheme of the SOH, but now it looks good, but still not as good as the Luna Wolves. Luna Wolves, dude, I was the same way, Jacko. I was the same way with the Sons of Horus. When I first saw this color scheme, I didn't like it at all. But I don't know what it was. I think it was once I got that Praetor and I saw the golds and reds with it. Yeah, it just popped. But again, like I said, the problem with this figure, no problems, but the only thing that I do not like is that brick of a holster that's sitting on his hip. I would have just preferred, even if it was empty, even if it was just hollowed out. That's what I would have preferred. Again, we pay enough for these figures that certain things like that, these are like, I keep saying this, these are like mini Hot Toys. So we shouldn't see stuff like that. His power pack is awesome too. His very unique look. Alright, so he's cool. We're going to leave him on the side. We're going to get through all of the power armor variants. So now we get over to our MK6 variant figures, right? So I think there is one more that I don't have. And one of them has an extra weapon attached because I was like, whatever. But we'll look at, I think this is the regular banner one. So this is the Bannerman, right? And so he has a very cool looking bolter with the knife attached to it, right? I don't think this is a mechanism that goes back and forth. I think it's just it's just like in World War. The last time weapons like this, well, a bayonet rather. Let me say that a bayonet attached to the end of his bolter is awesome. I like this. He also has that curved magazine, which is very reminiscent of the. Well, he's got a straight magazine, so. But he's got the curved magazine, right? So these are the ones who came before the upgrade. So again, makes sense. He's from Horus Heresy. Very cool figure. Again, he comes with these figures actually came with a lot of pieces to throw on their sides. He also, I believe, came with a brick for a holster, and I just didn't throw it on there. He has grenades on his hip. Coloring is great. Again, no loose joints whatsoever. And I think, let me just take this off. What's funny about this is, even though this is a much smaller nub than compared to the other figure we were looking at with the, not banner, but essentially his piece on his back that was shooting up. This one fits on great. Like, it's super secure. I don't know why the other one, maybe because it was a softer plastic, but this is a very rigid plastic. Again, the banner looks awesome on the back of his pack, on his power pack. The shoulder armor looks great. Sons of Horus, again, across the board, great figure. Now this weapon, I think this is an extra weapon with one of the Terminators. So I just threw it. I think this came with actually the Cataphract armor, dude, with the butter knife. I think that's what this sword came with. And I was just like, screw it. It's going to go with somebody. So this looks cool. I'm happy with this figure. MK6 variant helm. I don't know what the Sons of Horus, I guess communications is what they would use this for. Right, we got a communications guy. Because I don't think with the Raven Guard used the extra space in that beak for their stealth technology. So I don't know what other, outside of, I guess, additional communication devices, what they would stick in that extra space compartment in the front of their face. So I guess communications would be the easiest thing to say that they would have in there. So yeah. Excuse me. But he's cool. Like I said, Bannerman is awesome. Beaky helm looks great. Great articulation and no loose joints whatsoever on this figure. Very also plain look, but again, standard foot soldier for the Sons of Horus. So awesome figure. I am happy with this variant. Next one is going to be the I believe this is the captain. And so he's got a plasma pistol, right? And then he's got the power sword. But what's funny about this one is this just, I was like, are you sure that this is supposed to come with the Sons of Horus? But I guess so. But this looks like something that you would see with the Black Templars. Now, again, Black Templars didn't exist back then during Horus Heresy, right? They were essentially an offshoot of the Imperial Fists. But this is a very, very cool looking power sword. And it's very interesting that it comes with this captain. But it's awesome, awesome looking sword. Awesome looking power sword. And then he's got like this scroll that's sitting on the back of his hip. And he's got that power. He's got the plasma pistol, right? We get the blue variant of the energy coming through it. And we also have the red energy. But he looks cool. And then on the top, he's got that brush top. Very cool. Good figure. Again, no problems with articulation. No problems at all. He's very solid. All of these figures are none of them have loose joints. Now, the only thing I wonder is I think they did a second run on these figures, and I think I may have gotten the rerun on these, and that's why the joints don't have any problems with them whatsoever. All right, last one. This is the communications version for the Horus Heresy. Oh, geez, this is my backpack fell. But this is the communication version figure for the Horus Heresy. I think that this... Oh, actually, no, this does. This piece is separate. And this also fits nice and snug. I guess it was just the way that piece fit on the top of his power pack for that other figure where it was weird. But he's awesome. Again, no problems whatsoever with articulation. Sons of Horus symbol on his shoulder. He's got the shoulder pad with the studs on it. Looks very cool. Again, across the board, he's got the communications extra piece on his MK6 helm, right? Which is kind of weird because I was just saying, like, I guess he's got a ton of communications parts on him. So he's definitely the communications guy because he's got the MK6 helm, and then he's also got an extra piece on his helm, and then he's got the communications backpack. So very cool, awesome figure. Again, all of these power armor variant figures are great. I'm very tempted to pick up the ones that I'm missing. So I'm missing 4 more, so it'll be 4 additional ones. One MK6 Beaky, and then 3 other ones of the standard variant helms. So very cool. But the other ones of this are actually pretty expensive, at least I've seen. They're probably about 60-70 bucks, and these originally retailed for maybe 35, right? So I'm not willing to spend that much. I want to see if they get a rerun or something I can get them cheaper for, because I don't mind spending the money, but I'm not going to spend that much money on these where I'm kind of already happy with what I've gotten for the Sons of Horus. So let's see what you guys are saying. Need more of those bolter rifles and carbines for the intercessors? Yes. Yes, I do. So much more lore, but I keep hearing this Heresy story. We're talking about the Sons of Horus. It's going to be Heresy. I want Sons of Horus that reclaim their Lunar Wolves heritage. I like to see how they would do in the battle. That would be cool, actually. That would be really cool. Yo, what's going on? Look at this name. The Pied Piper of Hamlin. What is going on? Neverland is back. Well, with the amount of stuff that I have in there, yes, Neverland is back. So, alright, so we got through all of my Sons of Horus figures. We're going to pop these on the bottom, and then I'm going to show you guys really quickly what the display looks like at the bottom of here. Alright, let's get this over here, and then I'll bring the camera over so you guys can see how the collection is looking. I think I can get both of these in there. Come on. If I have to, I'm going to sell that stupid Lex Luthor lookalike so I can fit all of these Sons of Horus in these 2 shelves. And I think I can get Horus Axeman in here too. And I have a separate spot for the the Justarian Terminator's captain when he comes, which I'll show you. So, all right, so this is done. We're finished with this. Let me show you guys what it looks like and how we are looking, because we are looking pretty good. All right, let's see. All right, so tonight, Contemptor Dreadnought up top. We got our Tartarus Terminator and our Cataphract Terminator. We got our Praetors. Looking pretty good. The only problem is I'm gonna probably try to pull these figures a little bit more forward because it looks a little bit too cramped in there. So, and then at the very bottom is where we threw the other figures. So we got the Leviathan Dreadnought there. He looks awesome, dude. And then we get MK6 Power Armor variant and Power Fist. And again, these look a little cramped. So I'll probably try to mess around and make it look a little bit better. And then we got goddamn Lex Luthor, excuse me, in the back there, right behind the two. If I didn't have him in there, maybe I'll sell him. Maybe I'll just get rid of him and he won't be part of my collection anymore. Then I won't have to be pissed off about him. Maybe I will sell him. Maybe I will. Or maybe I'll give him away. Maybe I'll give him away. This way I'm not getting pissed off and I'll have more room in the collection. So, but yeah. So we got all of our Sons of Horus figures, and then we'll look at the rest of the display. So down here we got these, actually all three of these are really from the first run of the Black Legion figures that came out from JOYTOY. Again, you can see like the Power Armor variant is kind of smaller and stocky, more reminiscent of the pre-Primaris Marines minis, right? This one actually is pretty good as far as size. So he's a bit taller, so he's going to fit in really well with your collection. And then the Hellbrute, what's so interesting about this is a great sculpt. I had a little bit of problem with that purple flesh, but I'm shocked that we have not gotten another Hellbrute. Like this came out in what, 2021, and we have not gotten another Hellbrute. Now I'm trying to think of a Legion that would get another Hellbrute. Sons of 1,000 Suns would, but we haven't gotten those in 40K. Maybe is there a Hellbrute? There's got to be a Hellbrute for the World Eaters, I would assume, right? So this, again, I'm just shocked that we haven't gotten another Hellbrute or another usage out of this mold for JOYTOY. Very shocked. What's up, Benjamin Tontono? What's going on, dude? And then again, these are the newer. All of these are the new Black Legion figures, except for the one in the front. And what's interesting is yeah, he doesn't look bad hanging out, even though he's a tiny bit shorter. But that top knot helps with the illusion that he's a bit taller. So, and these are the other 5 Black Legion figures that came out within the past year. So these are the newer version of those Black Legion figures. And then really one of the best looking figures in my entire display here for the Black Legion figures that's Abaddon with the alternate helmet from WOG Toys. I love that helmet. This is the second version of it. The first one I had fell from my display and the top knot broke off. But I love this figure. If you guys don't have Abaddon from the Horus Heresy in your collection, you need him. He comes with some awesome accessories, as well as his head sculpt is great. Plus you can buy an amazing helmeted head from WOG Toys. So, and then in the back we got the rest of the Justarian Terminators, and we'll probably throw the Justarian Terminator Captain in here. We'll move some stuff around, and then over here is just more of the smaller variants of the Black Legion figures that came out a long time ago. They came out with so many Black Legion figures, but we have the all the siege, the heavy weaponry ones, which again we haven't seen upgraded versions of the siege weapon ones. You can see like the super heavy, there's a Gatling gun or Gatling bolter. You have back there's a las cannon, I believe. This one looks like it's almost a mortar weapon, and then we have a heavy bolter So it's interesting that we haven't seen more of those figures reused with those accessories. So, and then the Coupe de Grace, the best figure in this entire display. And I think if Will is in here, he would also agree with me. We got Horus, who absolutely last year figure of the year. If you don't have this in your collection, you need him 100%. Abaddon is the reason I ended up buying any and then more Black Legion. Absolutely. So yeah. So, and then at the very top for now, we got Angron, who's I think this is probably going to be figure of the year, or tied with the two Imperial Knights to be figure of the year. And then we got the entire collection of the World Eaters here with Lord of Vonicus. I actually picked up an extra one, so very cool. And then we have this entire display, which I'm super happy about. So this entire display is empty, and that is going to be next week. We're gonna do we're gonna open up all of my Alpha Legion figures. I think I have 3 or 4 figures opened right now, but I have an extra Alphyrus, which is going to be on my Omegagon, and I have the 2 unhelmeted heads as well. So pretty awesome. And then just a real quick recap of the rest of the collection that we have is my favorite display is all of my Grey Knights, right? We got 2 of our NDKs in there, and then this is probably the biggest display. This is all of my sons. This is all my Blood Angels. I actually have more Blood Angel figures than Grey Knight figures, because you don't see the version 1 intercessors, or I guess it's version 3 intercessors. Have about 15 of those, and I have a ton of the version 1 Blood Angel figures, which are not in here, even though I have the Terminators right there at the bottom. So yeah, very cool. All right, so we're gonna close it out a little bit later than I wanted, but it's okay. I had some fun. I'm feeling a little bit sick, but I'm gonna jump on Space Marine 2 in probably about 15 minutes. I want to see if I can get the stratagems done for the week. So if anybody is interested, you can jump on, and if there's nobody on from Discord, you guys are more than welcome to jump on with the code. I look terrible, but I don't care. I want to play some Space Marine 2. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me. All right, guys. We're gonna have tomorrow night. As long as my Raven, my House Raven, Knight Errant comes from JOYTOY, which is supposed to be arriving tomorrow around 1 o'clock. We'll do another live stream. This will be an unboxing of that one, and we'll do a comparison between the Imperial Knight, the blue one that came out, between him and the red one. So, all right, guys. I'm going to call it there. I'll be on Space Marine 2 if you're interested in probably about 15 minutes. So, all right, guys. I'm Wraith. I'm out. Later, guys.